Chat me if you're here. What is up? It's time to get happy, y'all. Get excited. Just chat me where you are in the world right now. We have hundreds of people signed up for this webinar. So I'd love to know where my people are. And if you are chatting, make sure you chat to all panelists and attendees. That way everyone can jam with you, connect with you, get to know you, all the things. Ooh, South Australia. Way to get sexy right away, Sarah. I love it. Okay, good. Lisa from Rhode Island. What's happening, y'all? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We're going to have a great time today, you guys. Thank you for being here. Look at you on time. Kat in England. We are, you guys, we're sexy right now. We're so international. Clearly, we all need a little happy in our lives, which I'm not surprised about because the pandemic, my goodness. Azra from Yorkshire in the UK. What's up? Obviously, you guys know I'm in Los Angeles, or maybe you don't know. Oh, Sandra. Cheryl from San Pedro, sexy AF. Yes, you are. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so everyone, make sure that when you're chatting us, because it's way more fun when we can jam together, you are clicking that little drop down that lets you chat to all panelists and attendees so that we can all see it. If you're only chatting to panelists, then I will be the only one who can read it, and everyone else will not get the joy of your amazing jokes and humor, which we all need right now. So please do make sure you're chatting to all panelists and attendees. Tracy from DC, what's up, girlfriend? I'm like so excited about this. You guys are amazing. Okay, you know, I love the ladies who are on time. So I say we just get this party started. You guys ready for this happiness webinar? 3 steps to revolutionize your life so that you can live your purpose and design a life you love. My soul gets happy about these things, guys. My soul gets real happy. Okay, so this is for you if, dun, 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 you want to be happy, right? Duh. We all are here for that, clearly. You want to be empowered because there's so many different ways happiness can come to us, right? It can come through feeling empowered. It can come through living our purpose. It can come through many different ways. And so it can also come through making more money. So this is for you if you want happiness, empowerment, money, more freedom, more time freedom, more healthy, high vibe relationships. If you want to be more fulfilled, whether that's through work or relationships. If you want more peace, who wants more peace? Who wants more inner peace? Can I get a hell yeah? If you want more autonomy, if you want more influence, if you want to find your tribe. Thank you, Tina. I said hell yeah to that too. I also want to add, which I clearly didn't put in the PowerPoint, if you want more energy, because I find that I'm a lot happier when I feel energized, whereas like if I'm kind of dragging or just have down energy, it's just not quite as excited. Thank you, Cheryl. Hell yeah to you too, girl. So this is not for you if you are perfectly content with your life and all your ducks are perfectly in a row and you don't have much desire for more. This is also not for you if you are terribly uncoachable. Honey, I can't help you. So my promise to you today is that I will show up for you. I am here for you right now. I will hopefully inspire you, most definitely empower you, and give you tools, tips, and insights. My true desire is to light a fire under your ass, and we will definitely have fun because I don't do boring. So that is my promise to you. And in return, I am asking for you to be present with me, for you to listen with an open heart and an open mind, and for just like the next hour of our time together to let go of any cynicism and let go of assumptions. And what I mean by assumption is, XYZ happened in the past. So therefore, I'm not going to dream for the future. I'm not going to hope for the future because it'll likely go the same as it's always went. That is sort of assuming that the past will repeat itself. So I am just going to request and invite you for the next hour to let go of any of that kind of thought process or mindset and really allow yourself to be open to what is possible for you right now. Everybody, you with me? Hit me in the chat if you're down for this. If you're down to give me what I'm asking for in return. Watch, no, everyone's going to be like crickets. Anybody? Nobody? You guys are the worst. Okay, thank you. Thank you. We got a couple. All right. Okay, they're coming in. Thank you, ladies. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, thank you, Lisa, Sarah, Kat, Tina, Cheryl. I'll take it all day. Okay, so tips to get the most out of this masterclass. Thank you, Tracy, for the emoji hands. That's actually one of my favorite emojis. All right, so tips to get the most out of this masterclass. You will get as much out of it as you put into it. That is true for this masterclass, and that is true in life, ladies. So I would love for you to just remove distractions. Like if you have a cell phone next to you, which I'm sure we all do, just like put it out of your eyeball range just for a little, put it on silent and like throw it across the room on the other chair so that you don't get distracted by all the dings. Let's have 1 hour where we are not like, constantly looking to be stimulated. My goodness. I just started reading that book called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. So maybe that'll be another webinar, but I'm very into sort of detaching. So let's detach together for the next hour. Yes, be present together. You with me and I with you, and definitely engage in the chat. It's going to be a lot more fun. We're going to interact a lot more. We're going to have a lot more connection. If this isn't just like boring, I'm just preaching and talking the whole time. That's not my style. I come from like a stand-up comedy background, so I really heckle me, baby. I'm all in. Okay. And you will get a lot out of this masterclass if you maybe take notes. There will be a recording, so don't stress about the notes, but your brain tends to remember more if and when you are writing things down. And so that might be something that would support you in getting more out of it. Okay, so today you're going to learn how you can start your passion project without having to sacrifice your financial stability. You are going to learn how high-powered women have fulfilling careers without having to sacrifice happiness in their long-term relationships. You're going to discover the single most destructive paradigm that keeps you stuck and unfulfilled. And you will learn how to revolutionize your life. That is my plan, ladies. That is my plan. So hit me in the chat really quick, actually. Let's kind of go back. I'm curious, would you guys tell me what would it look like for you to revolutionize your life? Like if there was one area of your life you could just flip upside down and it would be your wildest dreams, what would that look like? Yes, Cheryl, all of that in an hour. I am going to rock your world, girlfriend. You're hilarious. I'll do my best. I don't know. I'll do my best. But yes, let me know what it would look like for you to revolutionize your life. I will keep going so that I don't hold up this webinar while we are waiting for those chats to come in. Okay, so there's nothing for sale. I do have 2 bonuses for you worth like $400 if you stay to the end. And there's nothing for sale. Okay, so that's it. I just want you to know I'm here to connect. I'm here to serve. I'm here to play. I'm here to live my life on purpose. And I know a big part of my purpose is to empower women and be of service. So I really do thank you for being here so that I'm able to do my jam, Ooh, I like that. To be financially stable and not live paycheck to paycheck. That would make a massive difference. I completely see that. I get that. I respect that. Are you kidding? There's so many people out there right now who that would absolutely revolutionize their lives. Yes. And we got another chat that says like, that sounds good to me with the little arrow. Yes, exactly. All right, ladies, let's make some more damn money then. Let's do this together. Ooh, to live my soul's desire. Ooh, now you're getting all deep and speaking my language. Yes. Preach to me, ladies. Talk deep to me. Romance me on my webinar. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, so one of the bonuses at the end is a one-on-one coaching session with me for 30 minutes, which usually goes for like $300 a pop. And then the other bonus is a $97 group training where I will support you in creating something called the Revolutionary Leader. And it's where you kind of create your own personal contract with yourself. It's like a confidence builder, a self-esteem builder. It's definitely an empowerment tool, one that definitely helped me revolutionize my life. And it helps when you have a coach to walk you through it so that we can create one unique to you that's customized to you so that it kind of helps you combat a lot of your limiting beliefs. So my personal contract is I am a hot, deserving, responsible leader, enthusiastically accepting love and success in my life now. So when I first had that contract, I was like, I don't really believe this. My self-esteem was actually quite low, and I felt silly. I felt cheesy. Like I didn't want to say it out loud. And then I grew into it. So months and months of coaching and taking action and being different in my life made me feel like I grew into that contract. And then I said it like, oh yes, I am. And it felt really good. I know Cheryl has her own personal contract. So Cheryl, will you chat us your contract? Please, that'd be amazing. And she says, tons of money creating product in a studio of my own. Look at you, girl. I see you going out on your own. Delicious. I love that. Making products of my expression and creativity with ease and freedom and liberty. This is really cool. This is really cool. I know you've worked as an artist for most of your life and you've made great income. And it's really, really quite exciting to hear you want to do it in your own way, on your own terms, make your own art instead of someone else's art. Ooh, I'm excited. Ladies, keep feeding me those dreams. You're all speaking romance to me. This is like the key to my heart. Okay, so does this sound like you? Are you overworked? Maybe underpaid? Do you dream of a different lifestyle? One that has space for your happiness, higher quality of life, more time, more freedom, all things? Do you have a good career, but maybe dream of starting a passion project, right? Like that sounds like you, Cheryl. It sounds like you already got your stuff going and you make good money and you're good. And yet there's a part of you that kind of wants to do your own thing. I have a lot of clients like that. Something that would, so do you dream of your passion project, something that would express your creative side and give you more control and time freedom in your life? Yes. Do you have a dream to possibly write a book and just kind of feel like it'll never happen, but know that your soul is like, girl, you better not die without writing that book. Like, no, I definitely have had that experience where I had like a night of insomnia where I was afraid. I went from being self-employed to starting a full-time job. And I was deathly afraid in training the first week, feeling like, oh no, I'm going back into working as a W-2. What does this mean? I literally had a full night of insomnia where it was like, I'm so afraid. I cannot sleep tonight because the thought that I would never write a book is plaguing me. So now I'm currently in the process of finishing a book and it will be out early next spring. Very excited about that. So, and then do you feel like you might be sort of unfulfilled by your relationships? And what I mean by that is like, maybe you give more than you receive. Anybody? Is any of this resonating for you? You can put a little emoji, a yes, a hell yeah, whatever resonates. Holla. Okay, we got to holla. Oh, a W-2 means an employee. Sorry, I forget. We're international. We're so sexy. Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations on the book. I'm really excited. So how often do you feel like you give more than you receive? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you guys to chat me here. 10 being like all the freaking time, this shit is gangbusters. Like, can I get a fair life? And 1 being like, never, I'm good. I actually like receive more than I give. 9, girl, please let me get my hands on you. I see a 9, I see an 8, I see a 7. Woo, my goodness. I feel that. Oh my gosh. Yes, I see that. We got another 8. Yeah. All right, ladies, then you're in the right place. I'll tell you that. You are in the right freaking place. Yeah, anything 7, 8, 9, 10, too high, ladies. I'm happy you're here. Okay, let's hook you up. The real problem is codependency. Oh my gosh, 7, 8, 9. Ladies, you like, I don't know why I didn't expect those numbers to be that high. I should have expected them to be that high. They've been that high in my life too, but yeah, we got to bring those numbers down. My goodness. A 5. Okay. I love this. You've been working on creating balance. So you got 5. This is good. 5 is at least middle point, right? Like maybe equal giving, receiving. So the real problem is codependency. And I am going to now teach a little bit about that. So the definition of codependency, according to Mental Health America, is an emotional and behavioral condition that affects an individual's ability to have a healthy, mutually satisfying relationship. So it's important to me that I say this. No judgment, ladies. Totally recovering codependent here, 100%. I have had this tendency, I have had this problem, and I have been a 7, 8, and a 9, and probably at certain points even a 10 on that scale. So zero judgment, and yet I'm happy we're having this conversation, seeing those numbers that you chatted in, so that we can support you in really lowering that. So maybe you do get closer to a 5 or even a 4. Hey, a girl can dream. All right, so some more stats is that poor health, reactivity, self-neglect, and additional responsibilities are sort of effects of codependency. It negatively affects your health. You can think about it like a bank account or a gas tank for a car. If you're constantly, so for a bank account, if you're constantly withdrawing, it's going to go into the negative, and it's like energetically, it's like that's what you're doing to yourself. Being someone who's constantly withdrawing, right? Like giving, and not necessarily receiving, you're out of balance with the flow of life, and inevitably it will negatively affect your health because your body's not meant to sustain that. Your body is meant to be in balance in terms of giving and receiving. There's another study that links codependency and elevated levels of depression, which I'm sure is not surprising, since if you are withdrawing from that account over and over again, eventually you're going to sort of like be like running on empty and in the negative and drop down into a depressed state. And so codependency is no joke. I mean, it's often linked. So like if there's on one side of the spectrum, like a codependent person, they're often linked with someone who is an addict, right? So there will be like relationships where someone is addicted to alcohol or narcotics of some sort, and then the codependent is addicted to the relationship. So it's actually the definition, Mental Health America calls it a relationship addiction. And so you kind of need those two sides for these two to be magnetic and have sort of this push and pull energy together. And that's why sometimes when people talk about codependency, they don't talk about it like it's that big of a deal. Like you think about addiction, it's a really big deal. Think about codependency, it doesn't seem like as big of a deal, but I'm telling you it is. It's like two sides of the same coin, where the addict is addicted to the drug or narcotic or alcohol. The codependent is addicted to the relationship, to the giving, to what they get out of that, and it is actually killing them. So there's other studies, I wrote about this in my book, so forgive me that it's not in the PowerPoint, that link resentment to cancer. So when you're a codependent and you're not expressing what you truly want, and you're giving, and you're being resentful that you never received, you are literally creating disease in your body. So when I say codependency is killing you, I'm not joking. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being real. Research says it. Feel free to chat me how this is landing for you. Am I being too much of a drama queen? Does this resonate as true? How is this landing for y'all? Symptoms of codependency, and this might help you see, am I like this or am I not? And you don't have to have every single one, but this is just for educational purposes. Thank you, Sarah. You got it. Good to hear that. All right, so symptom, an exaggerated sense of responsibility for the actions of others, a tendency to confuse love and pity with the tendency to love people that they sort of pity and can rescue, a tendency to do more than their share all of the time, right? So like people who feel like they're giving more than they're receiving, or have that 7, 8, 9, like that's that right there. A tendency to become hurt when people don't recognize their efforts, which is, I mean, I'm looking at a question here. Hold on. My brain's starting to go in two ways. So Tina asks, can you be codependent in work or other relationships? Like it's not 100%, Tina. Yes, definitely. So it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It doesn't have to be that codependent addict thing. 100%, you can have a codependent relationship in work. Because the thing is, like wherever you go, there you are, right? So if you are codependent, like I, Shireen, I'm codependent, I will be codependent at work, and I will be codependent in my partnerships, and I will be codependent in my friendships, because I'm the one who harbors that way of relating with people, regardless of the setting. So yes, Tina, great question. The answer to that is yes. And if you guys have any questions, like feel free to shoot them my way. It makes it way more fun when we're interacting. So, okay. A tendency to become hurt when people don't recognize your efforts, an unhealthy dependence on relationships, and a willingness to do anything to hold on to a relationship or avoid the feeling of abandonment. Let me know if any of these resonate for you guys. Feel free to type in which one resonates. An extreme need for approval and recognition, a sense of guilt when asserting themselves. I've had so many clients who come to me and have such a high level of guilt when they assert themselves, whether it's at work or in relationships. A lack of trust in yourself or others, fear of being abandoned or alone, difficulty identifying feelings. I've had that problem, honestly. Oftentimes it takes me weeks, if not months, to identify, how am I really feeling about this? How did that land for me? I'm a little faster now. Hallelujah, but it took some time. Rigidity or difficulty adjusting to change, problems with intimacy and setting boundaries, chronic anger, lying or dishonesty. Like if you don't feel like you can assert yourself, you might end up being a little shady because you're worried that you might get in trouble, right? Poor communication and difficulty making decisions. Okay, so I hear Kat says she really relates to feeling hurt when people do not recognize her efforts. 100%. I mean, that makes so much sense. Okay. Yeah. Can you relate? I guess you guys already answered that one. Thank you. So here is to look to the future. Okay. Here's what you have to look forward to if you heal from codependency. You get to have good health. Cheryl, I totally get you. I'm good with my level of giving until I'm not. Yes, I 100% get that, right? Like you're good and everything's good and then you're good. And then like you notice like, wait, this doesn't feel equal. Like now I realize like I'm doing all this for you. And then when I asked you for that one thing, you would, now I'm pissed. Is that what you're talking about, Cheryl? Because yes, suddenly it feels shitty. 100%. I get that. Okay. So if you heal from codependency, you get to have good health. You get to have more time freedom. You get to up your self-care game without guilt. You get to have mutually satisfying relationships, more inner peace. You get to honor your inner desires. You get to fulfill your purpose and your potential. So I just have to say, I just got to slip it in there. Really, if you're someone who wants to live your purpose and fulfill your potential, like a prerequisite is healing from codependency. Because if you're codependent, you're likely tuning into the desires, needs of others so often that it's really hard for you to tune into your own. And in order for you to follow your purpose and fulfill your potential, you need to really tune in and understand, what does my heart want? What does my heart need? And that is like your yellow brick road down whatever path it takes you to the lifestyle of your desire. But you first need to kind of like quiet the noise of other people's desires and tune into your own desires. And so healing from codependency is definitely a prerequisite of fulfilling your purpose and potential. If you heal from codependency, you get to express your needs. What? So exciting. You get to live authentically. You get to prioritize your needs. You get to be happy. You get to be fulfilled. You get to create your lifestyle by design, because finally your design and your needs matter to you. And inevitably you get more autonomy because you're like, I do what I want. I ain't codependent no more. I do what I want, right? Tina says she's having an aha moment. Is low self-esteem a codependency? Yes, 100%. Low self-esteem is a symptom of codependency because you need other people's praise to feel good about yourself. Yes, definitely, Tina. Girl, you better start reading up on codependency, queen. Yes, that is definitely a symptom of being codependent, 100%. And so I'm writing about this aspect of it in my book, but one of the problems with that is that, so there's that low self-esteem. And so what you do is you go out into seeking approval, right? Approval seeking behavior. And so then people either do or don't give you approval seeking behavior. And then what ends up happening is it's almost like a vicious cycle. When they don't approve of you, you're like going to go back for more to really prove your heart and your desire. You're going to go back for more. But the problem is, what needs to happen is you unsubscribing from other people's approval being the thing that makes or breaks you. Because when your sense of self-worth, self-esteem, alignment, personal power comes from outside of yourself, then you are disempowered, inevitably, because you do not have control about what You don't have control of what is outside of you. You only have control of what's inside of you, right? So like this whole happiness, living your purpose, healing from codependency is all an inner game, 100% an inner game. And what's exciting about that is that then we actually have control over making changes in our lives. Cheryl, you are so cute. You're so excited. You are doing this. Oh, interesting. So your relationship with your daughter is the most codependent. You've been creating boundaries and asking for what you need. Very good. So happy for you. I love it. Yeah. You guys are feeling the unsubscribe bit. This is good. Cheryl, I just want to celebrate you doing that, especially with your daughter. It's very easy to become codependent with children because in the hierarchy of life, you actually are their caretaker. You actually are their sort of source of life and everything from the beginning. And so it's very tricky, right? Because you want to give them everything, and yet they're still you. You still have a bubble around you that is Cheryl before Cheryl became a mother. And so I'm sure for you, it's been a long journey to get to the point where you are finally willing to establish those boundaries. And yet that is a huge move forward. So I'm really proud of you. And I love that you're doing that. That's huge. Exactly. A fine line between responsibility and independence. Get it, girl. Preach. Okay. All right. So here we go. So like we talked about, the good news is happiness is an inside game, and revolutionizing your life is in your control. And I imagine you guys are all on your way to doing that just by virtue of being here. You're already putting yourself first. You're already being open to what your heart and soul truly wants. We're discussing a little more boundaries and healing from codependency to create more of that momentum moving forward. So I like what's happening, y'all. I like what's happening. Okay, so today we are talking about 3 steps to revolutionize your life. The first step is Awaken the Rebel. What a shock. Sharini Thor, founder of Awaken the Rebel, is going to talk about awakening the rebel. So that is step number 1. So I'm going to kind of go over the why behind what makes this work a necessity and not a luxury. Number 2 is really sharing your gifts, the information you need to finally get that passion project off the ground. And then number 3 is how to fight like a queen. Bah, bah, yeah. Learn more on codependency and how to ensure your own happiness. Okay, here we go. So when you get this, you can break the rules, live your purpose, and design a life you really love, which is literally my MO in life, is to help women do that. You will be more energized on a regular basis because you'll be doing work that not only gives you that paycheck, but also refills you energetically as well. And so you're getting paid twice. You're not clocking in and giving all of your life force for something that doesn't really make you happy. You are receiving that paycheck and receiving that energy and receiving that life force. And really, it's a more sustainable model of living. And we'll talk about that more later. And when you get this, you will get a newfound grounded, aligned, empowered energy that can weather any storm. And that's what I was talking about a few minutes ago when we were talking about how it's an inside game, right? Like when you heal from codependency, you're not seeking approval from the outside world. You're not gaining self-esteem from things that are outside of you. You are strong. You do have true strength and true empowerment, and your energy is grounded and aligned in who you are. So it's like you are this amazing oak tree and your roots are in the ground, and you cannot easily be blown over. So that's the difference between someone who's codependent and looking out into the world for like, am I okay? Is this okay? Can I have your permission? Do you approve? Versus someone who has healed from codependency and goes, do I want this? Am I aligned with my own soul? And if the answer is yes, then I move forward powerfully. So the outside stuff don't matter, okay? That is really ultimately where I want all of my clients to be, and all of my friends to be, and everyone I encounter to be. That is the most important thing to me, is that I am supporting women in being truly empowered in who they are and how they move through the world. And this is why I work with women who are moms. This is why I work with entrepreneurs and artists. And this is why I work with people who are employees. I used to be all about rebelling against 9 to 5 to be like an entrepreneur and artist. But the truth is, there are so many people who have come to me who work a regular employee W-2 job, and this has been a thing where even like at their job, speaking up in meetings has been an issue because they're not comfortable asserting themselves like the codependent, right? So I've seen so much the way codependency plays out in so many different roles with women. And so it's really important to me to support women and always having that grounded and aligned energy. So a little bit about me. So I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years. What's up? Yes. I am a wife and mother of two. Forgive me, I have to move my little head around here. So if you were thinking about using your kids as an excuse, it's not happening. Okay. I started as a stand-up comedian and then I became a coach, which is a weird transition, but it happens. I've been an executive coach for over 10 years. I am an author and a podcaster, and I have helped hundreds of people revolutionize their lives from the inside out, just like we're talking about right now. I desperately love being in the outdoors, listening to good music, riding my Vespa, and doing really anything that gives me a sense of freedom. These cool little logos here, I've been quoted in all these places as a coach, really taught either being funny on 97.1 amp radio, it was a joke, in the Wall Street Journal and Forbes and most of the other places, it was coaching advice. So, a little bit of funny and a little bit of empowerment. That's what you're going to get with me. So this is my before picture, ladies. I don't look that lit, not a shock, okay? This is me as a new mom. This is my first baby, Maya. This is my husband, Kenny. And then this other picture on the right, that's my sister and my mom. So at this stage of my life, I lived by the beach in this cool sort of like Venice Beach apartment with my cool new hot husband. And we had a baby. And I had this budding business called Awaken The Rebel. And so by all sort of external standards, I was living the life of my dream. Kat, I see you're like, yes, to being outside and having freedom. You and me, girl. Yes, let's do this. Let's go ride our Vespas together. All right. So by all external purposes, at this stage of my life, I had it all, right? I had this passion-based business where I got to be of service and use my unique talents and gifts. I was living by the beach. I met the love of my life. We got married. I had my first baby. All of the supposed to's were like, yeah, she's doing it. On the inside, I was struggling with postpartum depression, which was really dark and really hard. I was having more dark thoughts than I had ever had in my whole life. And I struggled, unfortunately, with postpartum depression for 9 months because I was trying to do different things. I kept trying to hustle harder. I was like, oh, what's going to be great is if I just like make more money. I tried to coach myself and use the power of positive thinking. I would vent to my friends, my coachy friends, my therapy friends, right? I would strategize endlessly on how to not be down. I didn't quite know, honestly, that I had postpartum depression. I just knew I have a new baby and I have this great life and I'm not happy and I don't really know why. I tried becoming more successful, getting fit and healthy. I tried buying more fun stuff and none of it worked. And so I'm talking about this time in my life because it was a time of transition. It was a time where by all intents and purposes, I should have had it all. I should have been happy and I really wasn't. I learned slowly why. Duh. Codependency is killing your ass. You are dying in your own life. So here's why this was an interesting sort of pivot point for me. When my husband and I met and got married, the codependency wasn't so obvious because we didn't have a kid. We just kind of like hung out together. We did some cool things. We would do separate things if and when needed. Once we had a child, that was where we should have been this really good team and we should have been really supporting each other. And I should have been calling in all kinds of help and support from family because now I'm this woman whose body's healing from this big thing I've just done. I just had a baby. I have this baby who needs me tremendously. But I was trying to be a superwoman. I was trying to be strong and I was trying to not need anybody because codependency tells you need to give, not receive, right? Can I get an amen? You guys with your 7, your 8s, and your 9s, you know what I'm talking about, right? So at this point in my life, I was giving. I probably was at a 10. Honestly, if we're going on that scale, like at this point in my life, I was at a 10 on the scale of giving versus receiving. Even my business got my attention and energy before my health, my wellness, my mental health, and my body got my attention and energy. I was so externally driven. Like, what does the kid need? What does the husband need? What does my business need? I was literally 4th on my priority list. And so I spun out for like 9 months depressed. And it wasn't super obvious. I wasn't just like sad all the time. I'd have one really good day and then I'd have a really sad day, but I wouldn't know why. And then I'd have another good day and then I'd have like a really angry day and I wouldn't know why. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I spun so much trying to coach myself. Like, oh, if I make more money, or I don't know. So anyway, I finally started to go get help. And when I really realized it was codependency, I sort of gave it a shot. Like, this is the antithesis to codependency. Like, here's what I'm going to do to not be codependent and actually do my best to take better care of myself. So I started to prioritize my own happiness. I stopped people pleasing at my expense, right? Because I used to be like, oh, okay, husband, you want to go to football and I'll stay home with the baby on Saturday? Sounds good. Whatever you want, babe. A year later, I'm literally like a shell of myself, right? Like I'm dying. So like I stopped doing that, where I just was like, everything's cool when it's not cool. Like, no, it's not freaking cool. And I was willing to say that, which was fighting like a queen. And we'll talk about that later. I slowed down in order to stop reacting immediately to everyone else's needs. I finally put my needs at the top of my priority list. So not like 2, 3, or 4, no, like number 1. And I learned to say no, establish healthy boundaries. I studied happiness. So I got a certificate in positive psychology and I took a class called The Science of Wellbeing through Yale to really learn like what actually makes people happy. At this juncture, I started to be less interested in success as an entrepreneur and like how to make all the money in your sleep, because that was like the original dream. And I started to be more about like, what does health and wellness really look like for me? Yes, I want this lifestyle by design and I want all the nice things, but I want to also be happy. And I can see now that I'm not. And I never wanted to go start a business so I could be unhappy. So let's not let's not sort of have this be a defeating, get in the way of what I really want. What I really want was happiness. And in my mind, I thought, oh, like the business will make me happy or more money will make me happy. But I really realized I actually need to focus just on happiness and healing from codependency so that I can have a business that supports me instead of drains me, So this is where the codependency and the happiness and the revolutionizing your life is an inside game. And I will always continue to remind you of that. It is not the outside world that is draining you. It is your way of relating with the outside world that is draining you. So then I started to ask for support, release some old unhealthy dynamics and ways of being, started advocating for my needs, even if I had to fight like a queen, express my creativity again, because that was very life-giving to me. So started to play the ukulele, started to drive a Vespa, started to do my seminars instead of in a hotel room, all stale, started to do them as retreats in nature, which was way more restorative for me. So I even changed the way I did my business. And then I found my tribe that had the right coach for me, that wasn't going to coach me into burning the candle at both ends, but a coach who really supports health, happiness, freedom while you're going after and honoring all your ambition, and a beautiful community of women who really support this vision as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That was it. I gave it a shot, y'all. So this is the after picture, okay? This is basically where the first picture you see on the left is our family. And this is a picture of us just being like happy together, where I actually started to advocate for my needs more. We were different together. I literally had a conversation with my husband where I said like, hey, like we need to have more win-win dynamics. I cannot keep saying like, do you, babe? And then like, I don't get any freedom, or I'm not feeling like I also get what I want. So we need to change the way we're doing things. And he agreed and we changed. And it required both of us to slow down and communicate more on all the things. But essentially what I really started to do was make things more fair in my marriage as co-parents. So there was that, right? So it's the beginning. I got the Vespa to honor the part of me that's like, I don't want to just drive the mom SUV. I used to have this Mini Cooper convertible that was a stick shift and it was so fun. And I was really sad that I had to sell it off and get the mom SUV. And yet I did, because it was sort of the right choice for the family, but I never forgot about it and never got over it. And so I finally just decided, I think I'm just going to solve my own damn problem and get this Vespa and have some freaking fun. Yes, Debbie, you do need a Vespa. I would love to support that dream. You don't even know. It gives me so much life. I literally don't even write it that often. Like I probably write it like 2 to 4 times a month for funsies. Like 4 times a month would be a lot. That's like once a week. I really write it more like 2 times a month, especially in the pandemic, because life is just weird and the children are everywhere all the time in quarantine. But it's there and I know it's there. And so I know if at any point I want to throw on my helmet and feel like a bad bitch who has all the freedom in the world, I know I can. And that gives me so much life. I focused more in my business on the Awaken the Rebel podcast. So that's his third picture over, which really made me feel self-expressed and creative, and it's fun. I get to sort of be my comedian self and my coach self all in my little weird hybrid. And that sort of started to revolutionize my business. So down at the bottom left, you see this revolutionary woman picture. I started writing my book, which is called Revolutionary Woman. And I created a mastermind called the Revolutionary Woman Mastermind. And that is part of me revolutionizing my business to support my own needs, right? So like in quarantine, it's been really hard to constantly coach one-on-one and exchange time for money, but then have to go be with the kids. And so I've synthesized my coaching into a group program, and that really helps me feel like I have more time freedom and then give really great energy to that group program versus feel spread too thin. So I started to revolutionize my business in that way as well. And then you can see pictures of the retreats and how I really took my like inner gypsy that just needs fun and freedom. I threw her into my business full force. And so we didn't do seminar rooms anymore. We totally changed the whole thing. So this is Bonnie. So I just want to show you guys another kind of example of someone who has done this work. I'll move my little head over again. So Forbes named her program called Source It the world's premier education in online hiring and outsourcing. So she definitely has success by all external standards. She's done really amazing online launches where she made like 25K a month and totally killed it, right? And she came to hire me because she basically desired more happiness. She said that there was just something about the way I be that made her feel like she kind of wanted to feel that authentic inner happiness as well. And so we started coaching together. Through our coaching, we discovered a little bit of that codependency going on, just ways in which she was focusing on the outside world versus the inside more, and just little things that kept her stuck in terms of not expressing her truth. We also helped her honor her need for creativity, travel, and adventure. So she has fully revolutionized her life and brand and business. So now her business really does include the traveler. It does include the comedic silly Bonnie and like silly pictures. Like instead of kind of being really sort of square and corporate and being what she thinks she's supposed to be for the external world, she now is who she actually is. And that gives so much energy and so much life. I gotta go faster, you guys. I'm like not gonna be able to do this in an hour if I keep going this slow. All right, so when you heal from codependency, there are things that you never have to do again. You never have to say yes when you really want to say no. You never have to feel powerless in your life. You never have to let others run the show. You never have to stay small so that you don't pose a threat to other people. You never have to take responsibility for problems that are not actually your responsibility. And you don't have to take on more than your fair share. By the way, statistics say that female breadwinners, even with an unemployed partner, will still do 90% of the housework and childcare. What in the flying F? That is such a reflection of codependency if I ever saw one. And you never have to settle for less, which like, hey, gender pay gap for every 100 a man makes, a woman makes about 82, and it's worse for women of color. And you never have to wonder if you will fulfill your purpose or your potential. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. So the question that I have for you is, do you have a burning desire to fulfill your purpose and potential? Hit me in the chat, y'all. Give me the goods. I want to know. I imagine you do if you're on this webinar. I mean, you must have some kind of burning desire to do what you want to do. I see a yes. I love the enthusiasm. All right, I'm going to move forward here because I can see the sun is getting very weird. My natural lighting is now a little too dramatic. Okay, so here we go, y'all. So this is my framework. Of course, it's a pyramid because I'm Egyptian, so, you know, it makes so much sense. The first step is to break the rules, you know, break the rules of codependency, break the rules of like living by other people's rule books, just break the rules, unsubscribe, all the things, right? The second step is to live your purpose. And the third is to design that life that you love. And the way we do that is through these 9 steps. These are actually the 9 chapters of my book. And we are going to just go over 3 of these steps today. So the first one is Awaken the Rebel. The definition or sort of the purpose of Awaken the Rebel is to really stop following other people's rules and start to honor your own. That's the bottom line. When I awoke my inner rebel, I decided to stop trying to make my mother happy by being like this square sort of like cubicle person who was in an office job and worked 9 to 5. There is literally nothing wrong with being a person who works 9 to 5. I think it's a beautiful thing. I personally was dying in my cubicle, and so it wasn't working for me. And so I ended up quitting a master's degree that I was doing out of like some obligatory need to like forward my education for mom's approval again. So I quit a master's degree and I started doing stand-up comedy, which was a really crazy move, but that was my Awaken the Rebel moment. They don't always have to look that dramatic, but that was my first one. So that was the first time I said, I don't care what it looks like to anyone outside. I don't care what other people think. I don't care if I'm going to look stupid right now. I might care a little bit, but I'm still going to do it anyway. And I'm now going to honor my truth. I'm now going to honor my desires. And that was the beginning of me revolutionizing my life. And so the first step is always to awaken your inner rebel and be willing to disappoint external sources so that you can honor your internal source. So also some statistics to give you a little more juice as to why this work is a necessity and not a luxury. 80% of American workers are stressed out. 50% are burnt out. There is 120,000 preventable deaths a year due to stress. It's crazy. We live in a toxic culture. We live in a toxic environment. It is not healthy the way we're like, sleep when you die, like all this kind of glorify killing yourself stuff. No. I don't know where the hell we got these ideas. People are literally dying. 120,000 preventable deaths a year due to stress. Can we, I think we could do better, America. Like, get it together. All you ladies in the UK and England, I don't know. You guys got to tell me, chat me. Is it the same? Are you guys overworked? Let me know. Australia, give me the juice. Okay, so I also want to talk about the number one regret of the dying, which is, I wish I would have had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than the life others expected of me. So this is from a woman named Bronnie Ware. She was a hospice nurse, and so she would literally spend people's last 12 weeks with them, and she would listen to them talk. And she wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. This was number one. This is the number one regret of people on their deathbed is I wish I would have had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than the one that other people expected of me. And so that is why this work is a necessity. It's not a luxury. For a long time, I judged myself like, oh, first world problems. I want to live my purpose. Like, get over yourself, Sharina, go back to work in a cubicle. But when I see all this, like now that I've made this my life's work and I'm like geeking out on all the things, I'm realizing this is a horrible problem. This is a horrible problem. People are dying. People are killing themselves. People are not fulfilling their soul's calling. People are abandoning their purpose for being here. And as a result, becoming depressed and suicidal and violent. This is a real problem. And you can see also things are not fair. So I added these statistics in here again, the ones we've already looked at with like a woman being a breadwinner, but still doing 90% of the housework and the gender pay gap, because you can also see as women specifically, the world is not set up for us to win. The systems are not set up for us to win. They are set up for us to be oppressed. They are set up for us to make less. They are set up for us to be part of the party, but not really be celebrated or shine or be treated fair. And so we need to awaken the rebel against that shit as well. Like, that's not okay. I'm not good with it. I know you're not good with it. It's bullshit. And the thing we got to do collectively as women is become empowered first inside, because people treat us, the world will respond to us. They are a reflection of how we perceive ourselves. And so again, with everything being an inside game, it's really important that we have an inner revolution first, so that the revolution outside can be a reflection of what's already happened inside. When we believe that we truly deserve to be paid equally, when we are really willing to go after it and fight for it, we'll get it. And you've seen that happen with us having the right to vote and the Pregnancy Discrimination Act. Thank you, RBG, right? Like, you've seen that slowly but surely things are becoming more fair in the laws and in our physical world. And yet there's still a discrepancy. You see the gender pay gap, and you see this 90% of the housework for a woman being a breadwinner. That makes it doesn't even make sense. But so there's something in our mindset where we are still harboring, we're still playing by an old rule book, an outdated rule book, a toxic rule book that doesn't actually support equality and doesn't actually support us winning. And so we got to awaken the rebel, y'all. We got to do it. I'm going to find a place to move because this sun is really throwing me, y'all. Okay, so forgive me while I move our situation here. So with all that being said, we are queens living like servants, and it's not your fault, but it is our responsibility to collectively come together and disrupt oppressive systems, corrupt systems that hold us down, right? So this is up to us, and we can freaking do it. That's all I have to say to you. We can freaking do it, okay? We can fix the gender pay gap, and we can definitely fix female breadwinners doing way more than their share, because what in the flying hell? All right, so the step number 2 is to rock your gifts. And the simplest way for me to describe why this matters, or why this is an important piece of you living your purpose and fulfilling your potential, and even having energy and life force so that you can write that book you've always wanted to write, or inspire the way you are meant to inspire, is the law of Dharma. Seek your highest self, discover your unique talents, ask yourself how you are best suited to serve humanity, and using your unique talents and serving others brings unlimited bliss and abundance. Deepak, baby. Gotta love him. So this is kind of what we were talking about with, me being a person who isn't meant to be in a cubicle, but forcing myself to stay in one. I would have inevitably been drained. But now that I've awoken my rebel and decided to share my gifts, I'm actually getting paid quite a bit, not only with a paycheck, but now with energy, right? Like, I love connecting with you here. I love the work I do. I love talking about things that feel really important to me, that really matter to me. And doing all those things, using my unique talents and serving others, brings me unlimited bliss and abundance. And so rocking your gifts, sharing your gifts, being a person who does the damn thing in the name of just your heart and what you are inspired to do is a necessity, not a luxury. So I'm going to give a couple examples of some lovely people I have worked with who have done this. So this is Zara, and she's like a super cool chick, has like a great job in Silicon Valley in the tech industry, like rocking her, doing her thing. Okay. Thank you, Kat. I love this too. I love that you love it. And she, through our coaching together, right, we did definitely talk about like healing from codependent patterns and like expressing herself more. And part of healing that was being willing to share her gifts. And so when I asked her, what are the intrinsic benefits you've gotten from sharing your gifts? I was telling her, I'm trying to create a case for my clients to understand, like, you will get paid hugely before you even get like paid with money, And she told me all of these things. She said, well, it has made me feel more courageous, more authentic, more at peace, more confident. I feel more whole. I believe in myself. I have more energy. I feel I am expanding. I accept myself more. I am contributing to causes that I care about. Like, she actually used this Instagram account and did some really cool fundraisers and was able to contribute. She feels more inspired and she feels more in alignment. So I want to ask you guys, please do chat me, even before you made any money, right? Like, if you just started doing your art on the side, if you just started doing the thing that you're inspired to do on the side, and you weren't getting paid with money yet, but you got more courage, authenticity, and authenticity. Okay, courage, authenticity, more peace, more confidence. You felt more energy. You were more accepting of yourself. If you got all of those things, how would that make you feel? How would that improve your life? Just those intrinsic benefits. Feel free to chat me, because I would love to hear that. Because there's so many ways we can get paid if you're really like thinking about that law of Dharma, right? And that's what she's doing. She's getting paid with all these positive emotions, all that energy, all that empowerment from just sharing a gift that's true to her. Tina says it would make her happier every day. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Tina, what do you want to do, girl? Please do it. Because if it's going to make you happier every day, it's totally worth it. I love that. Sarah says it would feel very empowering. It would fill my heart with joy and abundance. 100%. And I love that so much, Sarah. And I want that for you. Lisa says, I would start to feel happy, fulfilled, and at peace with who I am. Ladies, oh my gosh. Whatever you want to do, can you please just do it? Now you got me curious. I'm like, what do these ladies want to do? Actually, chat me if you're feeling courageous or like you want to share. I would actually love to hear. What is it that you are? What is the thing that you would do that would make you feel this happy, empowered? Oh my gosh, like you guys got me all like inspired about your whatever your dreams are. I don't even know what they are, but now I'm like super curious. Tracy says it would take away stress, which would lead to more calmness, which would lead to sleeping better. Oh my gosh, yes, girl, you need to do it then. Sleep is literally everything. And I've never known that more than when I had a freaking newborn. My God. All right. So this is Rachel, another example of a beautiful human who I've worked with who is honoring her desires, her service to the world, her ambition, her heart. So she is creating the business of her dreams. She is sharing her gifts through Source and Sprout Nutrition. She is practicing what she preaches in terms of, she has a lot of stories in terms of how motherhood affected her. And so she actually is creating multiple streams of income. She has something called Duo Diary that really helps a mom not only journal about like the baby's feeding and poops and all the things, but also about how the mom is feeling, because she had a health issue that none of the doctors could diagnose. And so she started to journal in this way. And then she was able to figure out what was really going on through her own journaling differently. And so she created the Duo Diary for new moms so that they also would be able to more quickly identify when something's going wrong with mom. Because, you know, it always becomes about the baby when the baby comes, but it's like, what about us? We just popped out a human. Our whole life just changed. Our body's gone through like a train wreck. Oh my gosh. My gosh, you guys are so inspiring me right now. Cheryl says, I want to make my stuff and make other people happy with it, which I'm sure would make you happy, Cheryl. It's okay to be selfish, girl. I honor that. It's okay. You're safe. You can be selfish here. Kat says, I would feel that I'm living up to my potential and my purpose, which is huge. Oh my gosh, you guys. So yeah, so this is just another example of someone who is doing her thing, you know, honoring her ambition, being of service and helping others because she herself maybe needed that help and it wasn't there for her. And so she's created a solution. So she's turning that pain into her passion. So she's kind of alchemizing the energy of that painful experience and using that to propel her forward to help other women. That's beautiful. And she's also being a leader in her family in terms of how they eat and how they live. And she is being creative. She gets to create content. She gets to express herself. She gets to feel like she is putting her service out into the world, and she's creating multiple streams of income to live a life that she loves. And so, hey, you know, not a bad gig. Okay, number 3, fight like a queen. When women are financially empowered, they put 80% of their resources back into the community. So that is what the statistics show. So again, I'm wanting to show you why this is a necessity and not a luxury. When women are financially, so you ladies in the beginning of this webinar, you said, I want to make more money. I'm into it, because when women are financially empowered, they put 80% of their resources back into their community. When women are empowered, we do good things. I'm so into empowering women, not only just for us, I really am all about it for us and the world at large. It really actually makes the world a better place. So research shows that women leaders are far more effective than male leaders. And we need to empower ourselves first, and then the world will follow. So I do believe a lot of that gender gap, fairness stuff those gaps will close the more and more we step up into our power and we demand what's right and we go ask for that raise or whatever it may be. So we need to learn how to fight, ladies. We do. I would love to say it's not that way and like the world is just gonna like give us whatever we want. It's great. No, it ain't true. You know it's not true, and I know it's not true. And so, unfortunately, we have to fight for what we believe we deserve, what we want, what we need. We just have to fight. And the truth is, I feel like the more we can reconcile with that truth, it's okay. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. It just is what it is. We just got to get good at it and like go to town. But I do believe it's a reality for women. Like, we just have to be more willing to go to bat for ourselves. Okay, so let's talk about the Princess and the Dark Queen. So when we talk about codependency, here I am in the middle. Awkward. All right, so when we talk about codependency, what I have seen in all the clients that I have is these two expressions of codependency. And so the princess can be kind of characterized as a people pleaser. She's likely the one who is more approval seeking, has trouble expressing herself, has trouble asking her what she needs, has trouble causing a fuss, right? She's the good girl. The dark queen is more in her power and is more willing to fight for herself, but is also a conduit of chaos. So she might take it too far. So it's almost like she is like a bow and arrow, and like she like pulls back and then like she'll snap and she'll strike. And so what's interesting is that while the dark queen may seem very different than the princess, they're actually two sides of the same coin. They are both an expression of disempowerment. And that's really important to learn, because I've had clients who are more obviously codependent, right? Like they're people pleasers, they have a hard time speaking up, like they date men who maybe don't treat them that well, but they don't stand up for themselves and they just keep seeing them anyway, like kind of obvious expressions of codependency. And then I've had the other side where it's a woman who has a high-powered career, and by all external standards, she is totally empowered. She has a high-powered career. She's married. She's living her life. She's doing her thing. She doesn't look disempowered. She doesn't look like a people pleaser. However, with this type of woman, the codependency comes out differently. It comes out by never being able to say no when it comes to work. It comes out by burning the candle at both ends. It comes out by giving all your energy to work and all your energy to everything except for what would truly make you happy. So like this person might secretly have a book they want to write, but they'll never actually do it because they're so busy reacting to the needs of work, or they're so busy taking care of the husband at home, or maybe their husband isn't actually super happy because there's no attention given to their personal life. So they're very different. They are very different. They look very different. They do not seem the same. And yet they are extremely similar because they are two sides of the same coin. They are two sides of codependency. They are two sides of disempowerment. And they are both very destructive forces. The princess kills herself. The dark queen kills other people. And in both cases, they're dying inside. So just trying to bring the drama again, just trying to really bring it home, okay? But I just wanted to talk about this because what I want to encourage women to do is, one, figure out like where you are at. So let me know in the chat. Are you more like the princess or are you more like the dark queen? I would love to know. And then let's talk about the embodied queen. Okay. So the embodied queen is really what I like to coach my clients towards. Lisa says she's more like the princess. I hear you, girl. I actually was more like the princess most of my life. And then after getting married and getting a little ragey and crazy, I went to the dark queen side for a while. And now I like to think I'm the embodied queen. Tina says, dark queen, get it? You ragey bitch, I see you. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, the dark queen all day long. Oh, we got a lot of dark queens up in here. I see it. Okay. It's kind of hot, not gonna lie. All right, so the embodied queen. This is what I coach my women towards because, like I said, the dark queen and the princess are both expressions of disempowerment. My goal, my purpose, my life's work is to empower women. And so a queen knows that she deserves what she desires. So that's the first thing, right? Is like giving yourself that inner permission, like, I want this and I get to have it. A queen knows that it's only a matter of time. So she's less likely to rage like the dark queen because she knows she'll get what she wants because she's a friggin' queen. And the queen always gets what she wants. And so sometimes she might have to be patient. Sometimes she might have to be creative, but she, regardless of it all, is calm because she knows she's going to get what she wants. And a queen also knows that she is meant to be supported in order to rule. So a queen rules her kingdom, but she don't do it alone. She's got tons of help. She has tons of people helping her, tons of people running different aspects of things. And so she is always looking to build her tribe and build her support and not do it alone because she's a freaking queen. Okay. She knows what she deserves. So this is Angela. She's an amazing woman. She's the associate director of a really amazing nonprofit that does beautiful work. And by all external purposes, she pretty much has like the perfect life. We started coaching together around fighting like a queen. You know, there were certain things that were coming up at work and at home where she wasn't feeling totally supported. And so we revolutionized her relationships at work and at home. We really did. And we discovered a few little, codependent tendencies and some things in there that we just turned up the volume on her feeling like she gets to ask for what she wants in a way where people will hear it, right? So not lashing out like the dark queen, but really coming to it with a different energy, having patience, knowing she's going to get what she wants. Everything changes when you bring good energy to it. And so we really supported her in doing that. Now she feels supported. She doesn't do it alone. She has higher levels of self-care without any guilt. She has joined my Revolutionary Woman Mastermind. So now she's got a tribe and a coach and a community who's supporting her even more in that transformation. She is actively honoring herself as the queen of her life. And that's the difference, right? So her life looks the same. She still has the same job, right? But the difference is her energy in her life. Now she is actively honoring herself as the queen of her life. She's a lot happier in her life. She feels a lot more supported in her life. She's getting a lot more done in her life. She feels a lot less overwhelmed in her life, right? So this is the difference between being happy and just living life, like clocking in and clocking out and just feeling like this is not my jam. So with that extra energy, now we are working on some secret desires that she has for herself. She wants to write a book, and we are taking that idea off the back burner and going to support her in not having the number one regret of the dying, right? Like, it would be tragic if this amazing woman went to her grave without expressing that book. That is something she has told me. I know I need this. Like, I know that I need to write a book before I am able to exit the planet peacefully. And so I'm going to help her do that. And that makes me feel happy. I'll tell y'all, selfishly, mama's happy. All right. So a bonus tip, be revolutionary and do not go it alone. 95% of your success and failure in life is determined by the people you habitually associate with. This is from a study through Harvard University's Department of Psychology. You are 95% more likely to achieve success if you are being held accountable. So in my mastermind, accountability is a huge piece. And success becomes easy and inevitable with a squad of revolutionary women who have your back. What's up? What's up? And so be revolutionary. Do not go it alone. Don't think you can make massive transformations internally of, like, you know, all these codependent patterns that were likely formed between the ages of 0 to 8, right? That's your imprint stage, when you just learn how to be unconsciously. You just soak it all in and then you go. So it's hard to change these patterns. It's not easy. It requires support. It requires coaching. It requires taking action. It requires consciousness, slowing down and being different in your life. And so success in those transformations becomes inevitable with support and can be really hard without support. So just to recap, 3 steps to revolutionize your life. Now, we talked about awakening the rebel, right? Not being willing to settle for less and disrupting systems that do not support us and going after whatever your heart and your soul truly desire. Honoring yourself over others. We talked about sharing your gifts, whatever that looks like for you, right? Like Cheryl, for you, you said you want to do your art. Yes, girl, let's do your art. Are you kidding? What's so exciting? We talked about fighting like a queen, which is a big piece of advocating for your needs. And it's definitely the antithesis of codependency. Like, this piece of fighting like a queen, all of them actually are. All of them are. But I feel like fighting like the queen is where your healing from codependency takes action, right? So Awaken the Rebel is maybe you internally get fed up and you start to like learn to honor your heart. Sharing your gifts, you're taking action, but it's like, you know, I'm just sharing my gifts. I just want you to know what I'm doing. But fighting like a queen is like when the rubber freaking hits the road and you need to go to bat for yourself, that you're willing to go to bat for yourself. And that is like the opposite of being codependent. And so that one really does take some coaching, because that's where a lot of the fear will come in. Like, is this okay? Like, am I too much? Should I not be saying that? How does that make me look? Oh, they called me a narcissist. Is it true? Because codependents are such sweethearts. The worst thing anyone could do is like tell them they're mean, because then they'll just go back for more abuse over and over again to prove they're not mean. It's like a terrible cycle. I have done it so many times, and so zero judgment, but this is where the need for support comes in, because it's so ingrained for you to go back for more. It's so ingrained for you to try to seek that approval, and you're never going to get it. And so you need to be supported in moving forward powerfully in a different way. Oh my gosh, Kat, I've done it too. I feel you. Thank you for being honest. You're sweet. And the bonus tip to be revolutionary, definitely don't go it alone. So whatever you showed up wanting today, I'm hoping you got empowered. That's like my biggest, that is what I wanted for you today. Like, above all else, I wanted you to feel empowered. I wanted to remind you that you are not a victim to any circumstance. And hopefully these 3 steps are sort of the beginning of your roadmap to living a life that honors your soul, a life where you can go to the grave in peace and feel like you nailed it and you can rest. That's what I really want, is for you to not have that number one regret of the dying. Another reason that this is here, let me move my little head here. My goodness, I am in the way. Okay. So we need women leaders. Also, this is just the truth. We need women leaders. These pictures on the left, that picture in the bottom with all the women, that's actually a Forbes article about how the top women leaders, basically all the countries who handled the coronavirus well were led by women. And those are those countries right there: Germany, Taiwan, New Zealand, Iceland, Finland, Norway, Denmark. This top picture here is a Business Insider article about how female-led countries handled the coronavirus pandemic systematically and significantly better than those run by men. And so now they're studying and finding how much when women lead, they do it better. Okay, so this is like my grand scale sort of viewpoint of why I wanted to do this webinar as well, why I want to empower women so much. So a few more little facts, okay? So in 1978, the Pregnancy Discrimination Act prohibited women from getting fired for being pregnant. 1978, you guys. 1978. You know how recent that is? It's so freaking recent. Like, hey, women, thanks for doing this great service to humanity and actually forwarding the human race. We're going to thank you by firing you. Like, what? Shit has been so fucked up for so long. And in 1978, RBG had a big hand in putting the Pregnancy Discrimination Act in place so that that was no longer lawful to fire a pregnant woman. Thank you, RBG, dear Lord. In the 1960s, women gained the right to open a bank account. In the year of 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act prohibits credit discrimination based on gender. So if you were a woman, they could just be like, sorry, we don't trust you with money. But now they're in 1974, again, so recent, we finally are getting equal rights. We've gotten so far, and yet there is so much more to go. We need to empower ourselves and live up to our own potential for our children, for our daughters, and for ourselves. We need to lead so that we avoid war, so that we avoid a bajillion people dying in this pandemic. We need to lead so that we literally save lives, so that we free ourselves from oppression, from the system that is not set up for us to win. So I say, let's win anyway. Can I get an amen? Come on, ladies. So here's what I promised you. I promised you I would show up for you. I promised you that I'm here for you, that I would inspire you. Thank you for that. Amen, Lisa. I'm going to take it to the bank. I promised that I would empower you, give you tools, tips, and insights, and that I would light a fire under your ass. So how did I do, ladies? Do you feel lit? And I promised we would have fun. I'm hoping we all had fun. I don't do boring. I definitely had fun. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Hey, woman, she says. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Tina is reminding me about the Revolutionary Leader contract. So actually, let's talk about that. So quick little tips on what you need to win. The first thing you need to do is show up for yourself, right? Stop putting your own self on the back burner. Second thing you need to do is get fed up with what isn't working, right? Like you need your own internal, oh hell no, for you to really move. And then the third thing you need to do is make a commitment to yourself to revolutionize your life. And the fourth thing was get support. So let me know in the chat, how would your life be different in the next 30 days if you stopped settling for less? How would your life be different in the next 30 days if you stopped settling for less? How would your life improve if you got the support necessary to make massive change? I'm just letting you guys think. Don't mind my awkward silences. Oh, I like it. She says more freedom, less anxiety, more happiness. Beautiful. That's amazing. I love that. I love that plan. What does it cost you if you don't make a change? So these are just some coach questions to leave you guys with so you can think about it for yourself. And I want to remind you that you have a choice, okay? You are not like a victim to your life. You have a choice. You the boss. You the boss. I love that, Lisa. More energized and feeling like there's a light at the end of a very dark tunnel. Oh my gosh, yes. Let's put a light at the end of your tunnel. Let's do that. So to get maximum results with minimum time, here's how I can help you. I have set aside some time over the next few weeks to speak with you for 30 minutes about how to revolutionize your life. We can look at where you are now, where you want to go, and the fastest route to getting there. If you're feeling like there must be something more to this life, or like it's time for you to change the way you've been living, then this will absolutely help you do that. Just a quick 30-minute session with me. I'm gonna revolutionize your damn life, okay? The cost is free. Why I am doing this is to be of service and empower women, like we've talked about, to connect with you, because that's fun for me, and also to see if you would like my support through my mastermind. I'm going to share a little bit about the mastermind. I'm not selling anything, and yet I want you to know like what this looks like. In the chat, Tina just put awakentherebel.com/connect, so you can go there to schedule our 30-minute session. But the Revolutionary Woman Mastermind is essentially for you if you want to be a part of a community that will help you make this transformation. If you're sort of ready to ditch the people-pleasing tendencies so you can step into your innate power. If you want to kind of find what lights you up, right? Like go after your passion project. This is a beautiful place to feel supported in going out into the world and taking those risks. If you know it's finally time to commit and make significant progress towards your dream life, this is the place for you. And if you want to design a future that looks good and also lets you make your difference in the world, then we would love to have you in the Revolutionary Woman Mastermind. So here's a little peek inside. There is a cool membership platform. And in there, we do 4 things. So 1, you get your login to the membership platform that has some training. This program really essentially is a combo of training, coaching, and community. So we do weekly group coaching calls with me on Tuesdays. We have weekly mastermind calls where we break you guys out into Zoom rooms, groups of 4, and you guys will mastermind with each other. And we have the mastermind structure set up for you. And then there's a high level of accountability where we tag each other in the Facebook group and hold each other accountable to the commitments we made. And then there is a community inside the Facebook group. So these are the trainings you get. You get the Revolutionary Woman class where I go, where actually I'll explain them in a second. You get the Cubicle Monkey Revolution. You get the Revolutionary Leader, which is what Tina was reminding me about. We will do a live training on that one, and then that will go into the membership site. And then you get this 31 Days to Revolutionize Your Life program, which is essentially like if I was coaching you one-on-one, these are the things I would prompt you and say and challenge you about and get you thinking about. So it's almost like one-on-one coaching through this training program. So the Revolutionary Women class is a women's empowerment course. It will give you a mindset upgrade, help you create a vision for your life. You'll walk away with a life purpose statement, a self-esteem upgrade, and you will learn in depth about the science of happiness, and you will learn to fight like a queen. So that's what that one is about. The Cubicle Monkey Revolution is really an entrepreneurship course, and you will learn from 28 greats who I interviewed. Jim Britt was the mentor to Tony Robbins. I interviewed him on entrepreneurship and how do you rebel against 9 to 5. I interviewed John Lee Dumas. He's like the godfather of podcasting. He's now mentored Lewis Howes, yes, and Timothy Ferriss. I feel like I should know his name because he's quite famous. But clearly I'm too focused on women these days. So he's like the godfather of podcasting and has mentored all the greats in how to do well at podcasting. And I also interviewed Rhonda Britton, who's a repeat Oprah guest and and there's tons of best-selling authors in there. So that's a really cool program. If rebelling against 9 to 5 to do your own thing is your jam, then this is a good training program for you. And then 31 Days of Coaching, which I mentioned, is basically like a leadership and life purpose course. It'll help you up-level your manifesting game, learn tools to attain any goal, up-level your self-care plan, let go of confusion and other people's expectations, and it's definitely an empowerment upgrade. And then there's this one, which will be live. So it's not actually in there yet. This is if you decide, so you can have your phone call with me for 30 minutes anytime before December 16th. If from that phone call you decide to join the Revolutionary Woman Mastermind, then you would be live with me as a bonus on this training, which is on December 16th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so we would create your customized contract, which will build confidence, help you lead your life intentionally. This is definitely a leadership tool. It'll help you know who you are and what you're up to. You'll let go of confusion and you will definitely live your life with purpose. We also have our Facebook group where we all jam and connect and support each other. And, this is Cindy. She got a cool job when she was part of the program and she was excited to report it. And so this program really brings it all together for you. You get direct access to me and my team. You get happiness training so that you know what's what in terms of actually being happy. You will get the weekly group coaching and mastermind calls. You get discounts on one-on-one coaching and retreats, live retreats. If you're a member, that's one of the perks. And then you get a community where you get to hang out with ambitious, successful, amazing, revolutionary women. You can cancel anytime. We recommend staying for a minimum of 3 months because like you can't really get much done when you're trying to revolutionize your life in less than 3 months. But as long as you give us 30 days notice, you can really cancel anytime. And this is how much it costs. So it's not super expensive. And then if you do end up joining for the year and choosing the annual plan, you actually get a one-on-one executive coaching session with me for an hour. So that's all the details about it. Please feel free to connect with me. Just go to this link and schedule a call. Oh, Kat. So EST, so PST is 3 hours before EST. So Pacific Standard Time is basically 3 hours earlier than Eastern Standard Time, just to clarify. So this is kind of Q&A portion. I've actually gone on way too long. Forgive me, y'all. We're over. So if you have to pop off, I totally respect that. I thank you so much for being with you. I've had an amazing time jamming with you, geeking out on all things happiness, purpose, empowerment, women, connecting to source and your soul's calling. So I will stay on for a few minutes longer if there's any questions about anything, whether it's personal coaching, the program, just coachy stuff. But if you guys have to pop off, that's fine too. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so feel free to schedule there and I will maybe see you on the next webinar. I'll just wait a few more minutes in case there's any questions. Lisa, you're so welcome. Oh, you're so sweet. Glad you like my laugh. Oh, that's fun. Thank you for being here. Yes, you're so welcome, Sarah. Oh, good, Kat. I can't wait to jam with you. I can't wait till you schedule. I tell ya, I love ladies and helping them revolutionize their lives. Yes, Michelle, it's okay. An additional giveaway for people that stayed on. So if you go here, you're going to get a 30-minute session with me, Michelle. So that is the first giveaway. And then if you end up joining the Revolutionary Mastermind program, you get an additional group training on creating your leadership contract. So right now you can go to this link, awakentherebel.com/connect and schedule your first bonus. And then we'll see, about the rest of the stuff when we connect. But I'm happy you were here. Thank you, Kat. You've been great too. Stop it right now. Okay. You guys, you're making me blush. Thank you, Kat. You're so cute. Yes, always a fun kick in the ass. Tina, Michelle, I'm sure I'm going to love your energy too. I hope you schedule so we can connect, darling. I'm sure it would be a great time. You guys have been great. I've had a lot of fun. Seriously, thank you for being on. This was cool. It's the joy of my life to do this work, not to be dramatic or anything. But honestly, I think I just got to own the drama queen thing because at this point, like I'm always talking about dying, talking about the princess and the dark queen, talking about 120,000 preventable deaths a year. I mean, drama is kind of like my jam, apparently. I'm just into it. I just love it. So 6 p.m. is what in the UK? I would have to Google that, actually. I would have to Google that. But if I start like Googling on my computer here, I'm going to mess up our PowerPoint. But I think Calendly, so this awakentherebel.com/connect will take you to Calendly. And I think it changes the time zone for you. So I think whatever it's showing as available. Are you in Calendly, Kat? While you're booking right now, are you looking at the times available, Kat? Oh, okay. Michelle says 10 hours difference. Okay, good. Yeah, exactly, Kat. So I think it's probably already changing the time difference for you. So whatever it's showing that's available is what is available in your time zone. Cool. I can't wait to connect with you guys. It's going to be fun. We're going to revolutionize all the ladies' lives. It's going to be great. So yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, I think I'll call it, awakentherebel.com/connect. I hope to chat with you. Yes. Thank you for booking. Kat, Michelle, all the ladies. I'm excited to connect. Tina, am I forgetting anything before I end? I don't think so, right? I think we're good. We're good. All right, ladies, thank you. You're amazing. If you have any questions I have not answered, feel free to email me at Shireen@awakentherebel.com. I'm very much looking forward to connecting with you. So awakentherebel.com/connect if you want to snag one of those 30-minute sessions with me. But whether or not you do that, I'm so grateful for this time we spent together. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you my heart and my soul's desire and calling. And I guess we'll see you on the next one. Bye.